discussions, this is where we ended up. So can we please take it further? Because I was listening to the panelists here in the morning. They have a vision for the city, but what we want is the implementation of the city. Thank you.
Just before we see anything, I just want to ask a question. This one is for you to answer it your own. Yes. You put an offer on the table. Yes. Was it taken?
She took my email address. Here's the second client for her.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. Thank you.
It's good to see linkages being created. Yes. Yeah, so again, coming together of people really speaks to what an economy really is. I think for me, just hats off to the Black Hat team for this session. I think even the panelists once mentioned Uti, dialogues have seen a sharp decline in recent years, even made worse by the lockdowns that we're coming out of. And in fact, we are thinking that, and I think it's wrong, we're thinking that dissemination of information via our technical or via digitization is the best form of getting it done, but there's value in sessions like this that we've seen actually far more valuable, or at least reap far more results and meaningful results than actual just putting something on social media, etc. So for me, I think to intensify these, to get them out there, for instance, even in the NYDA, in the past 3 to 4 years, we found the budget for social dialogues being completely taken off the table. So there's a movement away from meaningful conversations, and I think at times we use the pandemic also as a crutch to say, in fact, we should not do it anymore. I mean, there are even policies now that say if a meeting can't be, your first priority should be to have a virtual meeting and then look into it. So we've got an issue that we also need to really address. But so mine is to really take my hat off to them. Meaningful discussions to echo many of the sentiments here. I won't repeat them, and I'm looking forward to more collaborations. I'm hoping, Mr. Cross, that contacts will be shared. I think there's far more that we can engage on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we had very interesting conversations in the commission. What I want to say that I'm speaking as a Foot of Democracy member, what are we going to do as part of this commission? We are going to consolidate a particular type of a report. That report that we made because of this meeting, we will then send to everyone. We'll use that report as a form of engagement to the leadership of the city to say, okay, we had a particular meeting. This is what we have discussed. These are the key priorities from the youth, from the organization. How far are you in implementing these things? So we are going to use this engagement. I know Father Alea say ICT, I say we are going to use it, and we are committing ourselves as Foot of Democracy to go back and find out how far are we making progress. To add on, I think it's true, we have to think about means, Zolisa, of empowering young people, of jobs, work, economy, and all of these things. And then we have to do political education to young people to begin to think about what type of society they envisage, what do they want about, what is that society. Political parties because it's on
this is the analogy I wanted.
So that's why I appreciate colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you.
So before we move, I feel like I have to address this so that we don't offend people. I wouldn't want us to be making fun of other platforms because this is going online, and also we're not trying to make a fight. What we're trying to do is to build a city, and anyone who's in the platform must give respect to anyone who's doing something great. So I wanted to address that. We are core builders and drivers in the city, and we respect people who are doing such great work. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. May they forgive us at the ICT Summit.
Okay.
Hands from
Another question, Prof, but ndifuna ukwazi ne phaa kweni ngaphambili nifumane kanjani maybe to invite you kwi-communities zethu because of le information nesinika yona. To me, I'm happy with it, but I will pass also to the community, but nifumane kanjani, maybe I can invite you kwi-wide so that you can spread the word nakwabanye abantu. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Director. I just wanted to make my last statement. Yes, it's so true that we need to work together, but for the government coming in the 1st of November, I think the first thing they need to look at is the policy that say the public participation. Also, the chief will need to look into the ward council that does not have the public meetings for information to the people, where the ward committees are not even being seen. Because if we want to start working with our communities, we really need to implement that step ladder that we created from the ward, from the street committee to the area committee to the ward committee to the ward council and to council. I think if we follow that protocol that it is supposed to be the same, the government who is going to rule in after the 1st of November has a task to make sure that that participation is being implemented correctly, and not only when you ask for budgets and then you keep a budget meeting so small because you know you do not want challenges in terms of the budget. But in any aspect, in any changes of people's life, in any policies, public participation must come right down to the people through the structure that is there. Thank you very much.
I think this is a good initiative, Mr. Sund and your team. But you and I know that we have done this, more than hundreds of these. I've been part of it, you have been part of it. You can't send young when I look around. You guys up front are talking about community engagement. I look around here as a community member or an Sonti, Basemendi, Kamlan, John Odedora. You're up and young coming potential business or entrepreneur ayikho. Abo bantu balapha bazawuhamba. Ayikho laa nto kuthiwa sispenda nokhali imali yethu. Abo bantu balapha bazawuhamba. Akakho umuntu wasembizweni sheya kulati olapha. And you can't tell me there is no one who can come and participate apha mkhulu. Uzawuhamba Sunday Motherwell. Some of you guys, Summerstrand, abanye Humud. Yintoni enishiyayo eNew Bright as a legacy kind of investment? Timkaluvuyo bangazi MPDA. Yintoni enishiyayo apha elokishini ethi we were here and we left and nothing ngesishiyayo. Guys, we must stop doing things the same way we used to do them. You go to Motherwell, you do a workshop in Motherwell, and you go back to Summerstrand. If politicians, they've got a problem because Azazi Pete Humps is called election. Because when we come a council meeting, a condominium down. They don't know what is happening in gas. They don't know Gachiso. They don't know what because they don't stay there. They just come there, yep, and go to Somerset. So, my good people, I think we need to change the way of doing things. Let us make sure there are people now, so that those people are going to speak on your behalf. Because those of us are your bride to home, so I bet $1 million. So you need people about to make condone media at center. And you know, I was part of that. This is what was happening in media. I also invite you to come on board and participate. But without your banner, let's be honest. Whom are you going to say we're at media center, a flower, a new bride, and here is our testimony. Khumbula sonke sithetha esikwaziyo sinqine esikubonileyo.
Thanks, Chair Makon. I am blessed to submission with my manager, Dr. Mr. Sondi, will take out Gala, take industrial seat, which is the automotive asset. Currently, we have extended the family. I have a call paper to pretend draft that the potential economic areas. I want to clearly up when you go to the dispatch, one, and also Zaker, there is a potential of farming. It can be vegetables, it can be poultry, it can be fish farming. Also, can the case debate in the technology? There's a potential also there. Sitting a common interpretation. What people are telling us is that fish and chips. That Ikabaga code, calendar events. And we also didn't debate about fashion. We are making events in terms of fashion. There is a vintage, there is a urban fashion, there is a new coming fashion. With township economics as well, here in Nelson Mandela Metro, we've got about 5 or 6 townships. We've got Woma, Kwazakele, Motherwell, Tinach. Silapa, and New Brighton. There is a potential of economic growth up immediately. You can mix your fashion with Chisanyama and also do events on the weekends. If you go to Njoli, Kwazakele Square, about Kola Bus, you will see there. There is a Chisanyama there. Must be able to engage our heart so that we grow our economy. In Motherwell, as we speak, we go there every weekend, even during the week. There is a potential there of fashion again, food and events. And also in Tinach, that's what my suggestion was.
Thanks, Clarence. I'll now give over to Olwam just to close for us.
Okay, it's kind of a sister to who does that, but also because people have been raising weaknesses that I saw when I detailing some of the hints from that. We see a glaring weakness that when we called an engagement in this facility that the community allowed, didn't read it as us inviting the community in the space. One of the weaknesses is the mechanism that we use to advertise. One of the weaknesses is that once you invite a political leader, the message might not get to the member. And another mechanism is that, of course, another issue is that when it's still good that when we want to meet, we can find a space and meet. Even if I'm from Evugu, this is my uncle who comes from Etengimu right now, you know, Amanda, Amanda, of Bela, some of the Oluzuko, they stay here and all of those people. So it's not that we don't want the community to come, but also the space is such that we can have an intellectual discussion, and we can't treat this space as if it's a street-based space. That is my honest view, as much as we agree to the witnesses of not having to have reached the community. I'm not one that believes that since the university, Nelson Mandela University is in Missionville, that it's only Missionville people who need to be employed there, or it's only Missionville children that needs to be there. It's an international facility that anyone across the ends of the world can come and use, and we viewed mainly also as part of that we can find ourselves and our peers, wherever they come from in Nelson Mandela Bay, to be able to come and have a conversation without also feeling that we are illegitimate children in the space. We acknowledge we need to get a mechanism that reaches the community. In that regard, we are speaking to some of the panelists to take us into their own communities. Clamby, we can do the same thing with you, sir, and help us to help us to have a conversation that will be useful in that regard. We're not government, we don't have money to leave behind. We might not be able to give everyone the business support, but we will try the best that we can to avail some information in these people that are sitting there to be able to assist us. So thank you very much, Sasetu.
Thank you so much, all. Ngesixhosa kuthiwa into engapheliyo iyahlola. So firstly, we would like to extend a gratitude to everyone who has made it here today and has engaged with us on this platform. And one of the underlying narratives, on the stage, okay. And one of the underlying narratives that Fruits of Democracy has shown or has tried to embrace is the fact that there's nothing for us without us. If we do not take an active part in making things happen for ourselves, then chances are things will not happen. If there aren't platforms for us to speak or to engage with other people, then we create those platforms for us to speak and engage with people, or if we're not given those opportunities. And the narratives or the beauty that having all these people come here, all these multidisciplinaries who have come here today to share their insights have basically spoken the same thing, which is the beauty of having a non-partisan platform to say we're not trying to direct the conversation in any particular way. We want everyone to share their views. And the fact of the matter is that everyone wants an element of accountability from our leadership, whoever our leadership may be, and that the greatest win is if we all win. Because when we see 10% of our community winning while the other 90% is suffering, that's not a win. So a great win is for us to all win. When I looked at the panel here, first I'd like to thank Mr. Sondi from the maritime industry, or Andiswa, who is an entrepreneur and also sits on the Black Management Forum Young Professionals Board, Mr. Zanokolo, who's a researcher, Mr. Sia Zondani, who is the regional manager for the NYDA, no Anele Dloto, who is an entrepreneur and also an academic, that we're sitting on a platform with dynamic people who amongst ourselves could make great things happen and not necessarily rely on these big corporates or whoever to make it happen. We are making it happen right here, right now. So sometimes the things that we require are right here within us, and it's up to us to just make them happen. Without further ado, thank you so much to everyone who has come here today. Thank you to all our stakeholders, our sponsors, for allowing us to have this. And thank you to the Fruits of Democracy team, who has been committed to the cause for the past 6 years and still going strong. My name is Sesetu Gomo Sebokwe, and thank you.